Well, we want to welcome everyone to the 45th running of the New Balance Falmouth Road Race. Timing and Tommy, what a combination. The end of the summer here on the Cape and the hospitality and love of Tommy Leonard, 45 years ago decided to have a local road race and raise some money for the Falmouth Girls Track Club. You've got Frank Shorter to blame, certainly. His winning the Olympic gold medal in '72 as Tommy was tending bar at the Brothers Four, and that inspired Tommy immeasurably. And we thank the Lord that it all worked out as it did. And now we're celebrating the 45th running of this great American road race. There's a lot of great races out on the tour, but Falmouth got that nickname, the Great American Road Race, because it all came together at the end of the summer. So the road racers were informed, the track racers that come back from Europe, the marathoners were just geared up for the fall season. They all came together to run here. Then Frank and Billy had their little rivalry here, and the whole sport just exploded right here from the shores of the Sound. And what a great history it's been. We do have our first 2 years champions, Jenny Tuthill and David Duba, with us. You guys, you make your presence known. There's Dave. Dave, get it done. Jenny's in the back there. Who would have thought, Dave, when you came here and visited, that this would turn into what it's turned into, but it certainly has. My first race here was in 1975, living up in Boston, and a friend of mine running for the Greater Boston Track Club said, we got to go down to Falmouth, there's a great racing party down there. I tripped over somebody on the ball field right afterwards. I said, excuse me. It turned out to be a woman I grew up with in St. Louis, Missouri, who was visiting the Cape from Washington, D.C. That summer on the Cape, that's the Falmouth Road Race. You never know who you're going to meet. The whole world shows up on these shores on this weekend. I do want to acknowledge, of course, Tommy's not with us right today, but he's certainly doing well. His birthday, 84th birthday, was just a couple of days ago, so we wish him well. We'll see him later on in the weekend. We do want to recognize our longtime race director, John Carroll. John, how you doing? Nice to see you. Thank you, Mark. Also recognize Guy Morris, former race director, executive director of the Boston Athletic Association. And one of our great colleagues, Bill Higgins, recently retired from the Cape Cod Times, going to watch the race for the first time, not from the bus drive. And also, Mr. Shorter. Frank, stand up and say hello to the folks. And it's great to see Frank back again. Also want to recognize in the front row our defending champion, Stephen Sambu, three-time defending champion, Stephen. Our two-time defending wheelchair champion, Tatiana McFadden. Tatiana. And we will introduce the rest of the elite athletes a little bit later on in the program. But also now to get things started, let me introduce a man who for 6 years has been head of the board of directors here at the New Balance Falmouth Road Race, Scott Gelfand. Scott?
Thank you, Tony. 6 years. Time flies. I didn't know. On behalf of the Board of Directors of Falmouth Road Race, Inc., welcome to the 45th running of the New Balance Falmouth Road Race. I was hoping Tommy would be here with us this morning. We did the Zip Trip interview out here earlier, and I tried to drag him up here, but he said he had too much to do with this walk that he has tomorrow that he puts on for local charities. So if you're around tomorrow, 10 a.m., Falmouth Town Hall, you can go see Tommy down there and support his events. He is alive and well, and his enthusiasm for the race is as strong as ever. And he told me to wish all the runners well this coming weekend. So it was great to see him this morning. We have a special presentation first. We have Dave Duber and Jenny Tuthill here, our first winners from 1973. And I'd like them to come up. I know Jenny was a pioneer in women's running back in the day, and she had just come off a third place finish at Boston. So I'd like to welcome Jenny here. And Dave Duba, our first men's winner, which I just heard the story that you picked up a hitchhiker who told you about the race, and that's how you found out about the race. And who knew 45 years that this would be still happening like it is. So But welcome, congratulations, and not presenting. Okay. So, and they each have one?
Yeah, yeah, we'll go
So
back.
you're,
There you go.
so you're each getting one, a framed rendition of our this year's poster, the 45th running, like Karen Ronaldo.
We'll send you both. We'll send you the thing.
I'm also proud to have with me today a few of my fellow board members. If they could stand and be recognized. Bob Antonucci, Karen Bissonette, Donna Tosi, Jeff Cutter, Jeff Nickerson, and Carl Kavoser could not be with us this morning. They're with us in spirit. We are 7 volunteers that make up Falmouth Road Race, Inc., a nonprofit that puts on the New Balance Falmouth Road Race. Falmouth Road Race, Inc. is committed to positively impacting individuals and businesses in Falmouth through consistent involvement with the community and annual philanthropic giving. Through our grant program, scholarships, volunteer groups, and sponsorships, we have been able to increase our yearly giving 5 years running and have given back to the community since 2012 over $1.6 million. This past fiscal year alone, we gave over $450,000 in program monies. So it's a pretty amazing thing, and we're very proud of what we're doing. Our Numbers for Nonprofits program, with First Giving, our official fundraising partner, continues to grow. Last year, 113 Massachusetts-based charities raised more than $4 million, and this year's program, that number is even expected to be even higher. Without great partners, we would never be able to give back so much to the community. We have with us a few today. From New Balance, our title sponsor of 7 years, Harry Norton. Harry. And I know Andy Downing's out there somewhere too, so thanks for being here, Andy. From Spalding Rehab, our wheelchair sponsor, Amanda Ravens, a Falmouth resident. And from Aetna, our volunteer sponsor, our mile marker sponsor, our countdown sponsor, and our Falmouth Elite Mile sponsor is Chris Montrose. All of this is possible because we have a great team managing the race, and leading that team is the best race director in the game. Not me, as Fox News introduced me to this morning. I could never replace what this man does. It is now my pleasure to introduce the GOAT of race directing, Dave McGilpin.
Thank you, Scott. I've been called a lot of things before, but not a GOAT. And we'll do this. So first I want to thank Barbara for putting this all together. A round of applause for Barbara for putting this first one together. And welcome back, everyone. 45 years. You know, we truly are caretakers. Obviously, how many people have been involved or been at this race all 45 years in this room right now? Raise your hand. The Carrolls, John Carroll, probably the only one. So just round of applause again for John. But it just shows you how it just goes from one hand to the next hand to the next hand. We pass it along. So we take care of it for a little while and hand it off to somebody else. But the fact that people continually come back from year to year is testament to the quality of the race and how important the race is in the lives of so many people. I want to thank the board in particular for giving me the opportunity to help work the event a little bit, and it's truly an honor and a pleasure to be in this position. The organizing committee, made up of about 100 folks, you hardly ever see. We get the credit in this room, and and they seem to do most of the work. But we really appreciate how they come together and pull this thing off. In particular, Jennifer Edwards and Matt Auger, who are here, I want to say thank you to them and the entire staff. And lastly, but most importantly, the town of Falmouth. A lot of times, the community within which we conduct an event don't get the credit for allowing us to do this. You know, there are road closures, and we impact the community, we gridlock the community, we landlock houses. Doesn't sound too good, does it? But they graciously open their arms and welcome all the runners and welcome us and allow us to do this. So we want to extend our appreciation to the town itself, and in particular, I want to shout out to our public safety partners. And what's going on in the world today is tragic. Just saw it in the last few days, but they come together and they truly keep this race safe and keep us all safe. So I want to thank the Falmouth Police Department, the Fire Department, and all the public safety agencies involved in the race itself. They may not be here now, but let's give them a round of applause right now. And let them know we appreciate it. And thanks to all the volunteers, 2,000 of them. And if we, like I said the other night at the volunteer appreciation party, if we didn't have them, we would not have a race. It'd be totally impossible. Or if we did have a race, it'd be 35 laps around the ball field. We wouldn't be able to do it with just, you know, a handful of people. So, and there's like one volunteer for every 6 runners. So it just shows you the massive effort to try to, you know, sort of get all these people, but to have all these people interested in helping out. So other events for the weekend, the 27th Falmouth Walk, 10 a.m. on Saturday. It's a 3.2-mile walk. I'm not sure who came up with 3.2 versus 3.1, but it's 3.2. Starts at the Town Hall Square and benefits 10 local charities. So again, give back, give back, give back. There's no, truly, I direct a lot of races, about 30 of them a year, and I've done over 1,000 of them. I honestly don't know another road race that gives back to its community more than the New Balance Falmouth Road Race. I really don't. All the money that's raised from the race that goes back, all the charity component that goes back, you know, a lot of goodwill is done by this race. It's not just a bunch of people running down the street in their underwear. It's a lot of people raising a lot of money for a lot of worthwhile causes. The Tommy Cockery Mile at 5 o'clock, the SPLI Family Fun Run at 4 o'clock, the Etna Falmouth Elite Mile, and we have including 2-time Olympic medalist Nick Willis of New Zealand. And then, of course, the expo going on with about 60 exhibitors and clinics, including, this is going to be great. This is going to be great. To celebrate the 45th running, we'll have 2 special events at the expo on Saturday. A look back at 45 years. So that's one panel at 12:30. It'll include Neely Gracie, running on Sunday, and whose father, Steve Spence, was also a top competitor here at Falmouth. Abdi will be part of that panel. Will be running his 7th time here. Cree will be running and participating on that panel. He's won it 5 times. And longtime volunteers Tim Souza and Alden Cook. Now, neither one of them won the race, but they're just as important and just as special. And Tony will moderate, so it should be a lot of fun and might go well into the evening. So that'll be a great panel. And then at 2:30, past champions panel will be Billy Rogers, obviously Frank and Joni, Tatiana, Diane Burry, and Stephen Sample, moderated by Sue Smith. So those 2 panels should be great. Also with us this weekend is Dick and Rick Hoyt, running their 38th consecutive year, their longest streak of any road race. And I don't know if you realize, Rick was fairly ill in the last couple of months. He had pneumonia, he was in the hospital, but like the moniker Boston Strong, he recovered strong. Rick is doing really good right now. In fact, Rick is going to run in the Fenway Park Marathon next month, 116 laps around the park. So Rick is going to be a participant in that. So we're really looking forward to seeing the Hoyts back here again, and they'll be signing their book. And of course, we're all monitoring the weather. As you know, the forecast is right too many times to ignore and wrong too many times to depend on. So we don't know what the heck to expect, but we'll be prepared for all of it. So And the countdown, as you know, we instituted that a couple of years ago. 1 year the female one year the male one, so we'll see what happens. The gap time is 4:33, so we subtracted from 10-minute split time at the start, and so the countdown clock will start. Once the first female crosses the finish line, it'll start at 5:27 and count down and see if the male can beat it before it hits 0. If he does, he gets the 5,000 purse. If he doesn't, she does. So a race within a race. And lastly, this is a medal year. And what's interesting about medals, and here it is right here, is, I've always said to people, the toughest part about running in a race is signing the application. And then once you do, you have to earn the right to do it. And then you get to the starting line, you answer the gun, you run the course, you cross the finish line, you get one of these, and then magic happens. Because you go home feeling good about yourself. And that's literally what this is all about. 12,000 plus people running this race. But it isn't just a road race. It's about elevating self-esteem and self-confidence of people in this country. And that's what this New Balance Falmouth Road Race does. And that's what we need today, given everything that's going on in the world. So I want to thank all of you for attending, and I want to thank in particular Tony. Tony does a great job moderating and announcing and doesn't get enough credit for that. And he's the best in the business. Thanks very much.
Why, thanks, Ed. And God bless the fact that thousands of people do run around in their underwear. Who would show up otherwise? The Falmouth Mile, now the Etna Falmouth Mile, has not been around as long as the 7-mile road race, but it's been around since 1995. In that time, we have had 14 sub-4-minute winning times on the men's side and 7 sub-4:30s on the women's side. And as I said, Etna last year joined the sponsorship of the mile, and it's a great program that John started once again, and goes back to the time with the Falmouth Girls Track Club, which was the original beneficiary of the New Balance Falmouth Road Race. And so that grand tradition of track, along with roads, is kept in close proximity here in the third week in August here in Falmouth. And once again, Etna is the title sponsor of the mile, also the volunteer program, and this weekend has extended its support to sponsoring the mile markers and the countdown, which I was going to explain, but thank you, Dave, for doing so. It's not easy. And this year, for the first time, the Falmouth Road Race Facebook page will live stream the mile. So that will be fascinating, and great fields we have as well. But right now, I'd like to introduce the Senior Managing Director of Communications and Urban Marketing for Etna, Mr. Chris Montrose. Chris, come on up.
Good morning. Thank you, Tony. I'm so glad to be here. Falmouth, as we hear the gentleman speak before me, is so much about tradition. My wife and I, have been coming for, actually, she's only been here half of the 36 years that I've been coming. We're just thinking about that. And we drive around and we're like, oh, let's make sure we go to the Knob, or let's make sure we go to the Pie in the Sky, or we're driving around like, that's a new place, or let's try that next year, or oh, remember going back there. So the tradition is so important that Jen and Dave started so many years ago, right, of us just embracing this community in such a special way. And the mile support, there was a hiccup, right? I mean, a few years ago, you guys missed out, and in chatting with Chris when we started to think about what would be a great thing for Etna to support, to rekindle that tradition is such an important thing for the race. Such an important thing. It's such a fun, engaging, sort of yet intimate sort of event where you're up close with these awesome athletes, watching them magically run this mile in front of you. It's been so much fun to be involved with that through the years, and through the last couple of years, and it's really an important part of what we're doing. For Etna to continue to grow in its support for some of the other things, a big long list, because geez, what are we going to do next year, right? Hopefully a little bit more, yeah, right. And so the other thing I want to say is that, Karen Lynch and I did have so much fun holding the finish line. All the training that was involved in the 15 minutes before that, was really fun. And you all know Karen Lynch. She's been here in the community for a long, long time, and a long, long time supporter, 20-plus year runner of the race itself. So I'm proud here to represent her and her caring for the race and for the community. And it's just so, and the beauty of this also the support that Aetna gives just so well aligned with who we are as a company. Our job is to really help people become healthy, right? And it's actually deeper than that. How do we really help people self-actualize their health, to lead a life they want to live, right? And how many folks' dream, is to run. Those 50,000 that watch, some have run, some want to run, right? Their dream is to run the Falmouth Road Race. And we as regular runners inspire them. But what's really important is people like Frank who inspire us, and these elite athletes showing us how it can be done, learning a little bit about what it takes to do, 7 miles. To be inspired is what, Aetna's sport, to inspire people to better health. That's really what it's all about. So this is such a natural connection in all these little different facets. Of course, just generally supporting this awesome community. Aetna's proud to be involved. And again, it's my blessing to be personally engaged in this for so many years. So thank you to the great team that's here running these events, this month-long thing, it seems like. And we look forward to continuing to supporting this great event in the future. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Chris. And of course, our biggest partner of all, New Balance, in its 7th year now, of course, and it's had a great month already, even before the Falmouth Road Race kicks off, because over in London last week we saw Jenny Simpson get silver in the 1500 meters and Emma Colburn gold in the steeplechase. Anyone who watched those races would have been inspired to run like the wind, if you can still do that sort of thing. So it's been a great month already for New Balance. Going to get even better this weekend. Let's bring up right now Harry Norton, marketing manager for New Balance. Harry.
Hey everyone, how you all doing today? Thank you for that introduction. If you didn't get to watch Jenny and Emma run those races of the World Champs, I strongly suggest you look up the races on YouTube. Our marketing department clustered around TV and all watched it together, and to say that they were inspiring races, I think would be probably an understatement. Those girls are just incredible, and I really feel like they embody really everything that New Balance represents as a brand. Like I said, my name is Harry Norton, and I manage our North American running event sponsorships, including races like the Falmouth Road Race. And I just want to take this chance to say a number of thank yous. First and foremost, thank you so much to the staff and the board for all the work you guys put into this event. We work with the team on the race here throughout the entire year, just tirelessly, and we see the dedication and passion that you guys put into this race. And it truly is reflected in the end result of the race on race day. It's such an incredible event with so much history, and for New Balance as a running brand, we're so excited and so proud to be a part of it. I think Dave listed off, all the other facets of the race that I wanted to thank, so I won't go through them all and sound like a giant broken record, but the community of Falmouth, all the volunteers, all the operations people, we thank you for helping put this race together and make it so special. And finally, I'd like to thank all the participants, from the professional wheelchair athletes to just the citizen wheelchair athletes to professional runners, and your citizen runners and your walkers. Everyone coming together and taking part in this event makes it such a special experience, and it's a sellout every year, and it's just a great event for New Balance to have as one of our sponsored events in our backyard. So on a personal note, I'm running the race for the first time on Sunday. I grew up in Massachusetts as a runner. this race is kind of in my backyard. I don't know how I made it through 32 years of my life, having never run it. It's kind of one of those bucket list races, so I'm really excited to take part in it. But also, from a New Balance standpoint as a company, we have over 50 people who are going to be running. You'll see our house on the corner over there. We'll have a flag up. Stop by for a burger after the race if you'd like. You know, it's a really important part of our company culture, and we're just, you know, everyone looks forward to it every year. And as a running company, it's just such an important kind of exclamation point on the end of our summer marketing. So, you know, thanks to everyone for helping make this such a special event, and for making it such a special event for New Balance to be a part of. Thanks.
Thank you, Harry. Good luck to you. Margaret, just only 12,800. That's the capped out field. You can just imagine how many people would show up if they could lighten the streets, open up Woods Hole, but then it wouldn't be the Falmouth Road Race. So 12,800, including both defending champions are back. Caroline Chepkoech is still flying, that's why she's not here with us today. But we have Olympians, past champions, not just defenders, but past champions on both sides, World Championship team members. It's always one of the great fields of the year, again, because of the great timing at the end of the summer, and everyone's ready to let rip. Now, of course, on Saturday, not only the elite miles, miles, but we also have the Tommy Cockley High School miles, which is a grand tradition. And Barbara also just told me that in the girls division this year, we have 7 of the top 12 fastest Massachusetts girls running in that competition. Not the boys races in Sterling, but watch out for that girls race in the Tommy Cockley High School miles. That's Saturday afternoon over at the Falmouth High School. Once again, Matt Auger, I don't know how many years Matt's been doing this now, but putting these fields together, and it's more than just a summer job. You constantly have to be on the phone, talking to agents, to the managers, to athletes, making sure those invitations get out, making sure that people find a way to get themselves there to Falmouth. And another great job by Matt as the fields are sterling. Defending champions are both back. The countdown going on. In the mile, we are headed by Nick Willis. Dave said a 2-time Olympic medalist, recently 8th in the London World Championships. So great races expected there. In the wheelchair division, we'd like 3 of our top contenders to come up on stage right now. Tatiana McFadden, our 2-time champion. Tatiana, of course, a 17-time Paralympic medalist, 2-time defending champion here, 4-time gold at the recent World Paralympic Athletic Championships, and 4 times a Grand Slam winner in marathoning. I mean, Boston and London, Chicago, New York, back-to-back, 4 years in a row. Just extraordinary. Briga Shabort is a 5-time Falmouth champion, coming off a win at the Beach to Beacon road race a couple of weeks ago in Cape Elizabeth, Maine. 9-time Honolulu Marathon champion. And Danny Romanchuk, now living in Urbana, Illinois, part of the great University of Illinois program. He was the winner at the Cedartown 5K, followed by the Peachtree Road Race, followed by the Utica Boilermaker 15K, so he is on a roll. Begin with Tatiana. Tatiana, you know, I know you were sick before the Boston Marathon this year, and you still raced and raced well, but that Grand Slam string sort of came to an end. You're well, obviously, things are going well with you. Tell us your situation as you come into Falmouth to defend your title for 2 years.
I'm really, really excited to be here. It was definitely tough in Boston. I was really stubborn, and I woke up from surgery and I told the doctor, I'm running the Boston Marathon in 2 weeks. He was like, okay, if you're up to it. And it was just something I couldn't miss. I absolutely love coming to Boston, and I knew that it was going to be really tough and really, really risky, but I was really happy just to do it and to get 4th. But from there, it's been a road to recovery, and I was actually just at Mass General, and they said everything is going absolutely perfectly and very smoothly. And so, you know, instead of walking into the next doctor's door, I'm going to be walking into the next race. So that's definitely huge and positive. And I just came from World Championships in in London and got 4 golds, and here I'm looking for a really fast time. Hopefully the wind direction will be in our favor. And I'm just really, really excited to set up my season for marathons, and I'm so happy to be here.
In many ways, the Boston Marathon, the Falmouth Road Race are, ground zero for a lot of the wheelchair competitors. Bob Hall, of course, in the late 70s was the first guy to, regular old hospital wheelchair to break 3 hours. Will Cloney said, if you break 3 hours, we'll give you a finisher certificate, and he did it. And that opened the doors. But we do want to recognize another pioneer in the sport who passed away earlier this month, Jack Coakley, who for so many years helped put the fields together here for the Falmouth Road Race, and for over 30 years was one of the stalwarts at the Bill Rogers Running Center down in Faneuil Hall Marketplace. And Jack passed away, and I just wanted to recognize him because he was such a big part of what makes the Falmouth Road Race and the wheelchair racing community what it is today. Craig, of course, you're a 5-time champion. Just like in runners, I mean, there's a circuit. You've been on the circuit going against this young fellow right here. Talk about how it's nice to see someone like Danny at age 19 coming into the sport to get new blood into things so we can maintain this rising competitive model that has been so exemplified here at the Falmouth Road Race over the years.
What do you mean it's nice to see someone young like this?
As an observer of the
It's
game,
everything but nice.
As an observer of the game, it's
It
great to
really
see
makes
him.
me feel slow. It's just great to be back there. I just think, like Dave said earlier, if you have to change the course now tomorrow and tell us all we're going to run 35 times around a ballpark, that will probably be my last time here. That's why I come back to races like this. It's so awesome to race along the beach. And 2 weeks ago I was in Portland for the Beach to Beacon, what an amazing event as well. And I just enjoy coming out. Talking about guys like this is, we need it. I am so glad to see young blood and new guys coming in and take the sport to another level, which he already done and proved to. Daniel is just an amazing young athlete, and I just see a huge future for him. And for me, it's great to compete, here at a really a fast 7-mile course, and to mix it up a little bit more. The race organizers brought in another favorite, which is Josh Cassidy. He's the former fastest wheelchair marathoner in the world. He won Boston Marathon in was it 1:18, somewhere there. So, and he's going to be here on Saturday as well. So that'll mix it up for us a good bit. But I think we're going to have a great day. The weather looks good, and I'm happy to be back.
Great. Danny, I also see you're wearing your Paralympic team, proudly polo shirt. You're on a roll, so to speak, winning the Cedartown 5K, Craig's hometown, which is the race just before the Peachtree Road Race, and then Utica, the great 15K up in upstate New York. Tell us about your motivation, how you're finding the competition, and your first time at Falmouth. What have you heard about the race?
First time at Falmouth, I remember pretty much 2 things. One was the hill right here, right before the finish. And the second thing was Krieger being able to show me how to change a tire while in his chair in under 45 seconds, which was amazing to see that you could do something like that.
So what's your expectations of the race on Sunday?
Looking to be pretty good conditions, hopefully winds at our backs. Yes.
Who's got to get rid of whom before the final hill? Some guys are better hill climbers, and other people are better coasters down the hills. I mean, there's a lot of racing to be done on this course, something for everyone. But who's got to be in a position to win before that last hill? Would you say, as an observer of the game?
We've got and Creed's a great uphill and descender. I kind of fall back on the descending part. James Simbetta is another great downhiller. So I mean,
He's very modest. He's definitely the favorite on the climb. You know, when you go
He's 19 for heaven's sakes. That helps.
it is going to be a very
Bloody
interesting
experience.
race.
Well, we're looking forward to it on both the women's side and the men's side, so the best of luck to all three. Thank you. And now we'd like to bring up our road racers. And Barbara, are milers here? Okay, so let's bring up our defending champion, Stephen Sambu, a former champion, Diane Curry, a many-time top 5 finisher, Abdi Abdurrahman. Let's say Katie Mackey, a 3-time Etna mile champion, is Katie. There's Katie. Katie's here, and Craig Ingalls is on his way. Abdi, you got the microphone, so we can. Abdi's oh, Jess Todd. Oh, exactly. Jess Todd is also with us. She was 4th at the U.S. 10K Road Championship in Peachtree, and we want to introduce Jess as well.
Feeling surprised, guys.
Good to have you with us, Jess. So Abdi, you've been here many, many times. A 4-time Olympian. He was 3rd last year at the New York City Marathon. So he's having a great time. He's 6th at the Boston Marathon. And he's coming off a 6th place finish at Beach to Beacon a couple of weeks ago, where he set a master's course record. Like fine wine, getting older, getting better. How do you explain this, Abdi? You're having a great season, last couple of seasons.
First and foremost, I would like to thank the city of Falmouth. Thanks for having us again. It's, just such an amazing city, actually. And this is when I did my first road race as a professional athlete. I remember that. In 2002, I think, I ran at the World Championships, and then I took a straight flight to Falmouth. So thank you for inviting me again. And that was the first time I never stayed in a hotel, and I stayed at a hosted family because I was expecting to stay in a hotel, and they took me somewhere inside, and I said, I'm gonna stay here. You know what? It was fun, and I did make some great friends staying with the family, and I get to learn how to deal with people. So it was amazing. So, and also in my career, just like I always been a, good runner. Just I have a struggle like some part of my career with injuries, hip problem, a calf, and it's just something you have to go through as a runner, and some people deal differently. When I get injured, I try not to push it, I thought if I get injured, I just go hang out with my friends, so just trying to distract, do something else until I get healthy. It's been amazing past 2-3 years because I've been running well, and I just have to give it credit to my coach and my friends for supporting me, and also my health. So I didn't have any injury or anything. So I'm hoping to run it maybe a few more years, not that long though. So hoping to compete with Frank Shorter, Bill Rogers, and Joe Bono. So I'm coming for you guys. Watch out. We're in the same category now, so hey.
Setting the bar high. Well, good luck now. Next, Katie Mackey. Now, Katie's our 3-time Etna Falmouth Mile champion, and also the 2017 U.S. Road Mile champion. Katie, tell me about your fitness, and what is it about the Falmouth High School track which suits you so well?
Well, I'm very excited to be here. I love this race so much that this year I convinced most of my team to come, and my parents are going to be running the race as well on Sunday, so it's very exciting, and all of us are crashing our host family, so thank you to them for taking in the Beast TC team this weekend. I love this event. The track has been nice to me the last couple of years, and this year is a little bit different. For the first time, I missed a majority of the track season due to an injury that I got right before leading up into USA's. And thinking of this road race has been one of the things that's kept me motivated in my cross training over the last couple months.
And when I haven't wanted to go into the pool for a couple of hours, or I haven't wanted to go into the elliptical machine for a couple of hours, I keep thinking, no, you got to get there. You got to get there to Falmouth, to visit the greens, to race on that track again, to eat some lobster after the race. So I'm really excited to be here.
That's great. Best of luck to you. Diana Curry, a three-time Olympian from Burundi, who is also the 2015 New Balance Falmouth Road Race champion, took third place last year, ninth earlier this year at the Boston Marathon, and a couple of weeks ago, fifth at the Beach Beacon. Diane, you're just like money in the bank because you never have a bad race. You're always in the hunt. I mean, you're always there. Like Abdi was saying, it's just like the nature of the game is to get close to that edge and sometimes fall off of it and get injured. How do you maintain? I mean, what, you were Olympian when you were 16 years old for the first time or some such? How do you maintain this injury-free excellence that you seem to display all the time?
Thank you.
I didn't do it. How did you?
Well, I have a really good coach, and I'm not crazy about running. I love it, but I just try to have a balanced life and just stay consistent. And yeah, I've always had really good runs here, and since 2011, I think worst I've gotten was fourth, and I just enjoy being here, and I love seeing everyone every year, and yeah, just consistency in my training and just have fun.
Tell me about the road race course for you. I mean, big long-legged lass like yourself. Do you like the Falmouth Road Race course? I mean, having been a champion, always being in the hunt, what is it about this course for you that you like?
It reminds me of cross country a little bit. There's a lot of rolling hills. The first 2-3 miles is kind of like, you're running, there's like trees, and there's just a lot. It's not, to me, I don't find it boring. I love going just a little bit of rolling hills and there's long straightaways. I just love, there's something about the race, even when it's windy, I don't think I ever really complained. But I remember my first year here, I think it was really hard. I think I ran like 39 minutes and I was like 12. And I was like, I don't know if I will come back here. But then I came back 2011, I just kind of figured it out, and I was not in a good place back in 2009 when I first ran here, but ever since I came back here, it's been just great, and I enjoy every minute of it.
Well, great to have you back. And it's hard to make history here on this Falmouth Road Race course since so much has been shown. But this young man, Stephen Sam, who's a three-time defending champion, looking on Sunday to be the first person to win 4 in a row. Gilbert O'Cari from Kenya did it, and Bill Rogers also won 3, but not consecutively. So Stephen, you seem to be in good shape. You were very, very close 4th in a kick 2 weeks ago at the Beach Beacon up in Cape Elizabeth, Maine. Like Abdi, a University of Arizona grad, having a good year, just announced debut marathon, Chicago Marathon this fall. What do you think? What are the chances? Pretty good field as always here.
Yeah, so on Sunday, I think it's going to be really tough, especially with Abdi. Abdi is really in very good shape right now, and Leonard Corey is coming again on Sunday, so I think it's going to be really good. But I'll try to win my 4th time in a row, which is going to be really good. Even to win 1 time here in Boston, in Falmouth is really good, but the 4th time is going to be really, really amazing. So I'll try to do it.
Now, one of the things that happened 2 weeks ago was the fact you had never run the Beach Beacon. It was a 4-man race the entire way, and you ended up getting 4th. Did inexperience play a part in that? And of course, you have all the experience. What part of this road race course do you like? You controlled the race throughout last year's competition. All the miles were in the 4:30 to 4:38 range, broke away at 5 miles. That's how it played out. How do you like to run this race? Where does this race sort of have a tendency to break up?
Yeah. So because I've been there for 3 times now, and I know very well. The first time was really tough because I didn't know. But this, after being here for 3 times now, I know very well. The first 3 miles is really tough, especially from mile 2 to mile 3 is really hard. So I always relax over there and wait. So I'm there the fourth mile, so it's a little bit like sloping a little bit. So I know if I'm ahead until 5 miles, I know I might win it. So I always be careful in like from the second mile to fourth mile. So over there, I need to be really, really careful over there, not to push too much, and so or not to slow it down too much.
That's great. Well, the best of luck to you. Now we all know how you're going to do it. Let's see if anyone can keep up. And then next we have Jess Ton. Jess, you are debuting here at Falmouth Road Race. You were fourth at the U.S. Nationals for 10K. That's at Peachtree, another great rolling, traditional, great American road race as well. Out of Seattle, how do you find yourself coming into Falmouth? What kind of fitness do you have?
Well, first of all, I'm so excited to be here, so thank you so much to Falmouth for putting on such an amazing event, and to the Green family for hosting, as Katie said, the entire Beast crew that's out here. But for me personally, this is my second year as a professional athlete with Brooks, and it's been kind of a rocky transition in terms of the track. And after USA's this past year, I actually discussed with my agent prior to that I would kind of line up a lot of road races, post USA's. And I went to Peachtree, and I had just a blast. There's something about the spirit of the roads, and runners from all walks of life coming together for different goals. Whether they're racing or walking for somebody or some cause, it was just a really cool experience. And then my agent, Tom Ratcliffe, reached out to me about Falmouth, and Katie has only talked so highly about this event that I could not turn down the opportunity to race here. So that's kind of been the goal since Peachtree, just getting in really good training, consistent training. I went to Lake Tahoe with my family and actually put in a few weeks of altitude training. A lot of hard work and a little play, which was really great. And then the goal coming into Falmouth is just being super competitive and relying and trusting in, my fitness and my coach, and to have teammates here too is the cherry on top. But I would say, similar to what Diane said, I love the roads. I know I'm really new to the roads, but I love it because it's about competing, and there are elements, and you're not necessarily chasing times or splits. It's kind of about just being in the moment and being present and kind of laying it all out there, whether it's windy or it's hot or it's early. So I'm just really excited to test the fitness over 7 miles. So we'll see how it goes.
Well, you're going to love Sunday. You're going to love Sunday. I'd like to bring up Craig Engels right now. Craig just showed up. Craig is one of our milers. Hi, Craig. Nice to see you. Hard to recognize you with your haircut and your shave. But Craig's 23, University of Mississippi grad. He was fourth at the 2017 USTF Nationals at 1,500 meters. Just missed the World Championship team. And we said the same thing last year. We were fourth at the 800 and fifth at the 1,500 meters. Just about to get over that hump. How do you find yourself coming into the Falmouth Mile, Craig? And welcome, by the way.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. It's been a super long season for me. Coming from college, we started so long ago, but these summer meets are really fun because there's always a good after party, and that's what I came to Falmouth. And to run fast, but yeah, getting fourth at the trials was pretty cool last year, but this year was hard waiting, so I don't really have much else to say about that.
We saw at the World Championships how, like Christian Coleman, for instance, we saw people who had a long collegiate season then going on to the World Championships, and you could see them running out of gas just a little bit. Has that been a difficult transition? Jess has gone through the same thing as you make the transition from collegiate athlete, where it's all set up by the system, and all of a sudden now you're a professional athlete and it's all on you, especially this transition year.
It's a tough transition. My coach geared me up really well for all of it, but like I tell everyone, I was just joking about it, but the after parties are a little bit of an off season actually. So I always just treat them as like a day off or so, and then get back to training. So it's actually been really good, and I have 3 more races this season, which will make it like I think a 10-month season that I've had, which is pretty crazy, but it's been fun. It's been really fun.
Well, the crowds are great at not only at the Etna Falmouth Miles, but you can run the race on Sunday, just jog through it. A lot of the milers end up running in the 7-miler.
I wish I could, but my agent booked me a flight out for like 8 a.m. on Sunday. So.
All right, well, we'll come back one year and do that. It's a nice little no-pressure way of getting your cool-down run on the next day.
Yeah.
Best of luck on Saturday.
Thank you so much.
Anyone else have questions? We've also, you can break down for photographs and questions afterwards. So why don't we, Rick, we have that thing? Photographs, why don't you guys come in and take photographs, and we want to thank everyone for joining us here at the 45th UMass Falmouth Road Race pre-race press conference, and we'll see you on Saturday and Sunday at the high school and in Woods Hole.